Hey guys, it's Victoria. Welcome back to FemmeHead. Today I want to talk about a 30-day water challenge that I set upon myself because I am terrible at drinking water and, looking at the daily suggestions of what you're supposed to get. I'm normally nowhere near that. So this was kind of a challenge I set for myself, and I thought it would be fun to start doing like 30-day challenges or like week-long challenges or stuff like that. So this is the first one. If you guys have any suggestions for other ideas of things I should do, let me know in the comments. So this all started with the desire to drink 64 ounces of water a day. I'm trying to think of what that is in liters. I'll put it up here. And that is 8 glasses of water a day. And then I eventually switched it to wanting to drink 80 ounces a day, which is 10 glasses of water a day. And I'll put that in liters up above. So for the first 2 weeks, I did a really good job of, tracking how much water I drank every day and kind of keeping a little diary of thoughts I had in relation to the challenge that day, which I'll share in just a minute. But first I want to say, even though this challenge did not go as planned, like at all, I still wanted to share it with you because I think even if you fail at something, that doesn't mean you've actually failed, and I don't think it means that you should stop doing something, especially if it's some sort of lifestyle change you're trying to make. So even though I didn't drink the amount of water I wanted to drink every day for 30 days, I don't see it as a total failure, and I'll get into that after I kind of go over the 2 weeks worth of stuff that I have. And I'm gonna look at my notes I have here of like what I wrote down. So the first day was May 11th. I drank 80 ounces of water that day. Actually, even though at that point I only wanted to drink 64. And I said it was surprisingly easy to drink that much water. I was done by dinner. I've peed so many times today. I wonder how much good that extra hydration is doing, if it's just flying through my system. And that is a question I have. I know it's good because it's pretty common knowledge that being hydrated is a good thing. It's crazy like how fast it moves through your body, because I find that when I'm adequately hydrated and drinking the amount of water I'm supposed to be drinking, I'm peeing every like 10 to 15 minutes, and it is insane. Day 2 was May 12th, and I drank 48 ounces. And I think this was the day I did the 10K because I said I took a water bottle with me to the race, but I only had a few sips. I really didn't want to have to stop a bunch on the drive there and back or during the race to pee. And then I said I slept from 2 to 4 p.m. and then started in on my water for the day. So if you can guess, I did not reach my goal. But then I also said I didn't want to be up all night peeing. So even though I could have chugged the last 16 ounces before bed, I didn't. And then moving on to the next day, I drank 68 ounces. And so I said it was easy to get through the desired 64 ounces when I started first thing in the morning. I poured a jar of water with my coffee, and then I keep it with me throughout the day. And I just had like a 32 ounce mason jar that would have water in at this point. I found myself thirsty at bedtime but didn't want to be up all night peeing. When I hold it for any amount of time, it's like that scene from Austin Powers when I do finally make it to the bathroom. It's when he comes out of, not the cryo chamber, it's when he like comes out of being like frozen or something for a long period of time, and he pees for like a minute straight. Anyways, if you didn't watch Austin Powers, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Evacuation beginning. Evacuation complete.
The next day, day 4, I drank 86 ounces, and I said it was really easy today. I started with 32 ounces of lemon juice water and then just plain water after that. I finished my 64 ounces just after dinner at a restaurant, and then I filled up another 22 ounces to try and get through. Helps when I spread it out over the day like this. The 15th was day 5, and I drank 88 ounces. That was the most I drank so far, and I said once again it was really easy. I had a slow start but picked up speed throughout the day. I drank a whole 22 ounce water bottle on the way down to my parents'. I drank another while I was there to round it off at 4 of these 22 ounce water bottles. Said I was also able to drive down there without wanting to pee my pants, which I was kind of worried about because it's about a 45-minute drive. The next day I drank 112 ounces, and I said I actually thought I was behind, but I added up all the odd things of water I drank and it ended up being 112. I ran 5 miles, so I have to take that into account. It was probably 60 minutes of exercise, which requires another 12 ounces, so I'm still okay. What I found online was that for every half hour of exercise you do, you want to drink an extra 12 ounces of water. I had a pimple pop up between my eyes on the bridge of my nose, and it was such a weird location too, I remember that. And then I said my skin feels dry and rashy on my face, and that's something that I've just kind of been dealing with for about a month and a half now, I would say. Day 7, I drank 75 ounces, and this is when we traveled to San Francisco. And I'll give you a hint, this is where it all fell apart for the month. I said I noticed my phobia kicks in when I'm traveling or out and about. It comes from when I used to get UTIs all the time. There was like a 2-year period where I always had a UTI. And if you've ever gotten one, you know that there's that sensation of like, oh my God, I have to pee. But then you go to pee and you don't actually have to pee, and then just burns so bad. You know how awful it is to hold your pee when you have a UTI. It's just a horrible sensation, and that kind of like going through that experience kind of like created this underlying phobia of not being able to find a bathroom when I needed one, and it still carries through to this day, like years and years later. Hard to drink it all while traveling. I'm curious to see how tomorrow goes. And I think I knew. So we got to San Francisco, and so the next day, so I went to this certain neighborhood and I went to a coffee shop to work for a while, and then I did some shopping. And one of the first places I went was I got myself vegan Doc Martens for my birthday, and I had just this giant box I was carrying around with me. So my water bottle was in my backpack and my hands were full, and it was amazing. Like, I have on there that I drank 22 ounces. So I made it through one of these water bottles. It was hard, and I did not consume enough water that day. And then I have day 9 through 11 together. I suck at drinking water. The phobia and just being out and about keeps you from drinking anywhere enough water. So San Francisco is where, like, I was doing so good until San Francisco, and then that just like threw me completely off, and I did not recover, and I'm still working on recovering. So the next day, I was back home. It was day 12, and I said I'm not back to my normal drinking yet, but I'll get there. And I said I've noticed that if I get my first 22 ounces down by lunch, that the rest is much easier. And I think that's true. Like, it's hard to get into the rhythm of drinking that amount of water, but if you start early and kind of like set the mood for the day, it's a lot easier. And I say this like knowing that I have been absolutely awful the past like week and a half, but I know what I need to do. Like I said, I was doing so well. I was doing amazing at getting more than enough water. And then I went to San Francisco, and it was just really that phobia of like not being able to find a bathroom. And it's hard to explain unless you know what I'm talking about. I recognize that that always affects me when I go and travel. And so as much as I want to be hydrated when I'm like flying or in a car, like I know my mind doesn't let me. I once had a bad experience on a plane, like almost peeing my pants as we were landing, but that is another story. So I just have this phobia that keeps me from drinking water while I travel, and it's a really weird thing that I need to get over. It's very inconvenient during a car trip to have to stop every 15 minutes to go to the bathroom, and that is how often I have to go to the bathroom if I'm like adequately hydrating myself, which is crazy. I wish it was at least like 45 minutes to an hour, but it is like every 15 to 20 minutes, if not more often, if I'm drinking enough water. So the first week went really, really well. The second week didn't go well, and I've just kind of been not being as conscious of it lately. I'm not doing as good of a job, but I have noticed that I am much more aware of how much water I am or am not drinking throughout the day because of this. And I do want to, like, it's not just something that I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do the 30 days and then I'm gonna be done. It is something that I obviously wanted to use as a kickstart to make a change and drink more water. And I still have a lot of work to do, but I still wanted to share this with you because I think there's so many of us that think that we're not perfect, then why try? And I think there's so many other lifestyle changes that people think this apply to. If they're trying to make a switch and they, eat something they didn't want to eat, or they do something they didn't want to do, they get really upset and they just kind of like throw the whole effort in the trash. And I'm saying it's okay to make mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna fail, and that is part of it. And I'm going to continue on drinking water because I know how important being hydrated is. And I don't know if this changes if it's over a longer period of time that you're doing something. And if you are a very hydrated person, like you're getting the amount you need every single day, comment down below, like, are you constantly peeing or does that get better? That's something I wonder about, especially with like long distance travel, because I'm going to spend a lot of time in the car this summer outside working, and I just know that I need to figure out this whole thing that's going in my head to get over the whole not being able to find a bathroom thing, because I know I can find a bathroom and it'll be okay. So in the comments, let me know, how much water do you drink day to day? Do you have any tips or tricks? I would say I really like lemon water, or kind of making almost like a lemonade, putting like lemon or lime juice in water and then adding in some sort of sweetener, whether that's maple syrup, sugar, or honey, or whatever you want to use. I think it's a pretty common one, but just like having some sort of container of water with you at all times. I think that's what I have to say. This isn't as like exciting and as perfect of a 30-day challenge as I wanted to present to you, but this is reality. This is life. I did not do a good job, but I'm going to kind of use that as motivation to start anew and go forward doing a better job drinking more water. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to FemmeHead. Like this video if you like the 30-day challenge idea. Let me know down below if you have any ideas for challenges. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!